Night Frenzy, brought to you by Junction Square Pizza.
Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. It is week 10 on the Western Slope, and it is Friday Night Frenzy. He's
Titus Cleveland.
And I'm Big Will Levinson. And Titus, again, 3 A's a week behind, but for all other classifications in Colorado, the regular season has concluded. And next up is the postseason.
Will, you said it. Finally, it is playoff time, and this is it. We'll win or go home. Football time.
You just can't beat it. You just can't beat it. You were at Stoker checking in on a team that won't be in the playoffs, the Fruita Wildcats, but folks, you know who will be in the playoffs? The Montrose Redhawks. And here they come, donning the big game all-black uniforms, undefeated are the Montrose Redhawks, 9-0, and in town is the equally dominant, equally incredible, equally undefeated 9-0 Pueblo West Cyclones. This, for my money, is the game of the year in Colorado high school football, as big as it gets. The 4A SoCo League title on the line as this one is underway in Montrose. And folks, this place was amped up and loud from the very beginning, but after Montrose got stopped on 4th down in the opening drive, Pueblo West went right down the field. It's a screen pass to Zach Duran, and he is in. So it's the Cyclones who strike first. It's 7-0. Next drive for Montrose. And finally, they got the run game going. I mean, just look at Elijah Womack carry defenders. And this is the Montrose we know. Methodical drive down the field, a 3-yard score. Womack is in. The Redhawks have answered. We are knotted up at 7. Next drive for Pueblo West, and Gavin Lockett heaves it downfield, but it is picked off. Snatching it like a receiver is Chase Meehan. A huge turnover for Montrose, and the Redhawks capitalizes. This time it's Aiden Grijalva who scampers on in, gives a little peace sign as the Redhawks have their first lead. It's 14-7, and a wild moment here seconds before half. Pueblo West trying the field goal. The snap is botched, but the holder, Darren O'Brien, has picked it up, and he's running around. Again, no time left on the clock, and he's going to dive here for the pylon. The officials say touchdown. I'm not so sure he had possession across the plane, but a block in the back was the call. So, again, by rule, it's an untimed down, so they get a chance to re-kick, and this time the operation is good, the kick is good. A wild end of the half takes us there with Montrose up 14-10. Second half now, and here come the Cyclones. They go right down the field in the opening drive to take the 17-14 lead, but then down the field with Montrose, and Womack dives across the plane. The 18 no good. Early fourth quarter, Montrose has the 20-17 lead, so now a huge third down for Pueblo, and wow, Gavin Lockett with a spectacular throw, a heck of a catch for a big first down. And now Lockett does it himself. The QB draw net 6 for the Cyclones as they have the 24-20 lead with 7 minutes to go. And folks, 7 minutes feels like a lot of time for one drive. Not with this Montrose offense. Not 10 yards of play, no. 4 yards, 5 yards, move it slowly and methodically, and the Redhawks got it all the way down to the goal line. And so here we go, 15 seconds remaining, and it's the QB sneak, and Chris Mock is in. That is a touchdown for the Redhawks as this place is going berserk. With 11 seconds left, one last chance here for the Cyclones. Down 27-24, they go with the hook and ladder, but the Montrose defense makes the play. It is celebration time in Montrose. What an incredibly well-played football game by both these teams. Down to the wire, lived up to the hype, but it is the Redhawks who are the last unbeaten team standing in the 4A classification. The only team without a loss in 4A, 10-0, are the Redhawks, as they are the 4A SoCo League champs. What a night in Montrose, Colorado. That was fun, Titus. That was fun to watch.
That was an insane game. I wish I was there to attend that game because it looked like it had all the fields for that championship pedigree of a game.
It really did, and you could just feel it. It was a playoff game. Mm-hmm. From the moment it was kicked off, it had a different level of feeling to it. And listen, when Montrose got the ball back with 7 minutes left, I think all of us kind of knew what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. That they were going to do that. They were going to just so slowly and methodically move it. It was masterful.
But what you said something right there. They knew the game plan. Pueblo West knew what the Montrose was going to do, and they still couldn't defend it. So my question to you, Will, can Montrose go all the way? Because they've been playing this run game for quite some time, all season long. They're 10-0, and they've been able to overcome every single game.
I have thought since the moment I was there at fall camp that this team was going to win a state championship. They got themselves in a great position because now the importance of that game, if Montrose can get to the state semifinal, that semifinal will likely be at home, and that's a big difference than going 4 hours across the mountains in a state semifinal like how they lost last year. But let's see what happened at Stoker Stadium.
Stoker Stadium was a different feel. It was between the two teams, Thunder Ridge Grizzlies and the Fruita Wildcats, two teams that were winless in the 5A league. But in here, right here, we're going to go Fruita versus Thunder Ridge. The tied game going into the second half. But this is where things would change as Fruita would get on the board. Right here, we see Benjamin Romero getting some yards with his feet. He's going to get knocked out of bounds right here. But a few plays later, he's going to hand this one off to the running back, and he's going to muscle his way into the end zone. Fruita would go up 14-7, taking the lead. And the Thunder Ridge Grizzlies, they knew they had to respond if they wanted to make this a game, and they did just that. Grizzlies quarterback is going to hand this one off to Evan Odds, and he's going to deliver as he slips a few tackles and finds the end zone. We are now tied at 14 apiece, and folks, I could tell you I wanted to stay for the fourth quarter, but I had to get back here. But let's look at what happened in that fourth quarter, because in the fourth quarter, the Fruita Wildcats came out on top 28-21, picking up their first win in the 5A league. This one was a crazy one. The ending in the fourth quarter, the hectic Fruita defense came up with a huge fumble recovery, take it all the way back to the house. The Wildcats would go up 21-14, but Thunder Ridge was not laying down. They would respond with a touchdown, a rushing touchdown to tie it at 21, and then Fruta's QB, Benjamin Romero, found Chris Bennett for a 15-yard score to put the Wildcats back on top, 28-21 to take the lead and the game. So, Will, the Fruita Wildcats, they showed fight all the way throughout that game.
That's great to see. For Fruita, obviously a disappointing season, obviously as hard as it was moving up to 5A. But for them to finish the season on a high note, to get a victory at home, so important for the future of the program with Cam Ross and what they're trying to build there in Fruita, because it's tough in 5A, but to get a 5A victory to end the season, that's important. But last night, we had one of the biggest games, perhaps the biggest game for Grand Junction Tiger football in a decade.
It's senior night at Stoker Stadium, and here is the Tiger leader and quarterback, Will Applegate. He's headed to Eastern Arizona for baseball. And how about the big Jack Banks? He's looking to play college football. Maybe it's CMU at Wyatt the Tiger. Fired up for this game, and what a huge game it is for the 8-1 Grand Junction Tigers. Their best start to a season since 2011 with the Scorpions of Sand Creek in town. This one is simple for both teams. Win and you are in the playoffs. Lose and your season is over, as we are underway in the I-25 League title game. And how about on the return here for Sand Creek, it's Elijah Brothers, and boy, he is fast, and right down the sideline for an opening kick touchdown, but alas, the yellow is on the ground. No score for the Scorpions, and on the opening drive here, the ball is fluttered down the field, and there for the easy interception for Grand Junction is Colton Music. A huge turnover for the Tigers, and on their first drive, how about the flea flicker? Applegate goes deep, and Mason Anderson is there. Touchdown Tigers. PAT was fumbled at 6-0. Now a fourth down for Sound Creek. The give is to Achilles Evans. He bullies his way through and in. A big touchdown for the Scorpions as they answer, but they too botched the extra point, so we're tied at 6. A tightly contested game goes to the halftime locker room, all even at 6. But ladies and gentlemen, this game was a different game in the second half. Just check out Noah Watkins here, getting by defenders and gliding home for 6, folks. It was a Tiger party in the second half. We're talking fumble recoveries, we're talking touchdowns, we're talking interceptions. The costume-filled student section was loving it. Everything going the Tigers' way in the second half. Dusty Harris now gets in for a score. Oh, Grand Junction in half two. The score is 34-6 as the Tigers dominate Sand Creek. And ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since 2019, the Grand Junction Tigers are headed to the playoffs. They finished the regular season 9-1, undefeated in I-25 League play. They are the I-25 League champs. They are going to the playoffs.
You couldn't be prouder of this group of guys. Couldn't be happier for them. You know, everything that we've gone through. This has been a 4-year ride, and this group of seniors put it together this year. They have sacrificed a lot for this football team and for each other, and I couldn't be happier for them or prouder than this group of kids and this staff than I've been in a long time. It's unbelievable. It's great. I'm happy for Junction High School and this team and everything else. Like I say, very, 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 very proud moment for me right now.
Such a huge victory for the Grand Junction Tigers. They are ahead of the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. So, folks, we're going to get to more scores across the state. Palisade last night, they got a huge victory against Eagle Valley, 43-0. They are likely to be the Western Slope League champs. They've got one more week again, 3 a week behind, one more week next week at home against Glenwood Springs. We'll have that for you. Next week, the Central Warriors, they hung tough. Put up 21 points against a really good Riverdale Ridge Ravens team, but they take a loss. Central still probably in the playoffs, though, even at 4-6. And the Delta Panthers, they got a victory up in Newcastle, 22-7. Ladies and gentlemen, what an spectacular week.
Friday,
the final week of the regular season in high school football across the state. But here live from Grand Junction, the KREX5 studios, we'll see you next week for the playoffs.